You probably clicked on this thumbnail because this shoe looks really interesting and I will review it because it is interesting. Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video we have the review of the KIPRUN KD900X LD+. These names, please KIPRUN, change them. I know they're working on it, but for now this is the KIPRUN KD900X LD+. The KD900X LD released in early 2024 and this shoe will release in 2025. I have it in my hands because KIPRUN had to release it for compliance purposes with World Athletics regulations in order for a few athletes to run the marathon in the Olympics with this shoe. There's a huge caveat coming with that. This shoe will look a bit different when it releases to the general public in 2025, and that's simply because KIPRUN is reworking on the upper. They had great feedback from wear testers explaining that there was a bit too much chaffing around that medial part here in the midfoot, around the arch of the foot, which I did not experience, and we'll come back to the upper here in a second. But because of that, they will rework on the upper, and this shoe will look slightly different when it releases in 2025. Let's go quickly into the specs, and we have a 40mm heel, a 36mm forefoot for that 4mm drop. It's coming at 249 grams in my size, US 10.5, EU 44.5. Yes, it is half down compared to my usual EU 45 US 11, and that is simply because in the very small production batch that KIPRUN had, my true to size was not available. However, because KIPRUN shoes run fairly long, this works actually quite well for me. I would not use it for a full marathon because of foot swelling. This would become a bit too tight in the forefoot, but for a 5K, a 10K, or even sessions up to a half marathon, I think it works quite well. So half down is an option. True to size is the way to go if you consider this shoe as a marathon shoe. Let's look at the upper and the fits. The upper is a new material from KIPRUN. It's still a bit plasticky, a bit abrasive like the materials on the KD900X LD, KD900X, KD900. It doesn't offer the best fit experience ever. It's slightly better compared to other KIPRUN shoes. I think the last has been slightly reworked. It is not as snug in the midfoot, but still definitely a race-ready fit. It doesn't have too much give, it doesn't have too much width to it, and it's really, really close to the foot. The wrapping experience is actually quite good. Unlike the wear testers that KIPRUN had, I did not experience any chaffing here in the medial area around the arch of the foot, but I did experience a few issues with the tag that is attached to the tongue of this shoe, and this tag was causing some pain. I removed it. It was still causing some pain because of the stitching, which was initially holding the tag in position on the tongue. I have a huge request for KIPRUN, and that is changing the tag position because it's really annoying, and I almost ditched this shoe just because of the tag. Without even going any further, the tag issue was so annoying that I was about not to review the shoe and not to run in this shoe just because of that. Looking at the rest of the upper, the heel is really pliable. It's a very nice heel with one bolster that is a bit thinner around the center of the heel and a bit thicker on the medial and lateral side. The insole is removable if you want to put your orthotics in this shoe. And the laces are still very long as per KIPRUN tradition. They aren't too special, and I would like also KIPRUN to move to a bit more sophisticated laces, those textured laces. I'm not sure they would really change the cost of the shoe. They would probably be a bit more expensive, but they would upgrade the fit experience and the lacing experience by quite a bit. Let's look into the midsole of this shoe. This is a new compound that KIPRUN is calling V-Foam Plus. This is based on PIBA. I'm not sure if it's 100% PIBA or if it's a blend, but unlike the predecessor of this shoe, the KD900X LD, this has a much higher percentage of PIBA, if not maybe even 100%, whereas the older iterations of this shoe had a mix of EVA and PIBA. It's a much softer, much more bouncy shoe. It decompresses much better. However, the foam can be really good if the geometry of a shoe isn't. The ride will be impacted. That's where this shoe starts to be a bit more of an issue to review. I think that this shoe, for once, as a marathon shoe, will work really well for forefoot strikers. But if you're a heel striker or a midfoot striker, I really struggle to see how you will enjoy this shoe because of how weird the geometry feels. The dynamic drop of this shoe is definitely negative. If you compress the heel in this shoe with a 4mm drop, you create a negative drop and you are really down on your heels and you're angled with a negative angle, which doesn't feel super good. And then the transition to the forefoot is almost inexistent. and not very enjoyable. That small little thing here, the little bridge that you have right here, I don't think it was meant to compress as much. And when it compresses, for me, it almost touches the ground. As you can see, I have some black parts right here, meaning that the bridge was against the ground when running. This creates also a weird feeling, which I'm not sure KIPRUN was really willing to have in that shoe. It really reinforces that feeling of having the heel against the ground and having a negative drop in this shoe. 4 millimeters isn't much as a static drop. It's just a difference of 4 millimeters between here and here. But dynamically, when you compress the heel, that 4 millimeters becomes a -2, -3, even maybe -5 millimeters. And you really feel like you are stuck in your heels and kind of struggling to move forward in this shoe. The forefoot is actually enjoyable, and that's why I think for forefoot runners, forefoot strikers, this shoe will be maybe better than for some others. But for me, it's strange. I really like the foam. I think KIPRUN did a really good job at having this foam in their options of foams. It's a better foam for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's no discussion. It's a better foam. But I struggle again to find any appreciation of the geometry of the shoe, and that's again because of how the dynamic drop works and how the geometry of the shoe works for me. The outsole coverage is good. It's going to be a durable shoe as per KIPRUN DNA, which is a good thing. The price point of this shoe is also very reasonable at 220 euros, and this goes also really well with the DNA of Decathlon and KIPRUN. I'm curious because I want to put more kilometers in this shoe and find maybe some magic happening later on. For now, I didn't find it, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have any magic. It's just maybe coming later, or for some other runners. I have a specific running style, as many of us. We all have a different, gait cycle running style, and it's just maybe not working for me specifically. But anyways, I'm interested to see how this shoe develops in my rotation, and let's see when it releases also with a new upper. Sometimes that can change dramatically the whole experience in a shoe. This was a preview or first impression review of the KIPRUN KD900X LD Plus. We have right here the review of the KIPRUN KD900X LD. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, like this video, and you will find more of our stuff on your YouTube feed. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits. I will see you in the next one.